5 seconds to go. Start. Mr. Deputy Chairman, I am extremely grateful to the honorable members who have spoken. In fact, it is very rare, as I said, that law made in 2013 has to be reviewed because it is an act with 470 sections. Therefore, a lot of representations had started coming in the moment this act was notified. There were some drafting oversights because it is a long act, plus, some inconveniences were felt when the act was being implemented. We therefore held consultations with all stakeholders and we were able to identify several points which required to be revisited. Some of those points were revisited by virtue of notifications or even under rules. For example, one of the issues that my friend from the opposition has raised is with regard to a large number of private limited companies and the provision of very onerous nature being made applicable to them. Now, by virtue of a notification, it was possible to give private limited companies exemptions from some of those provisions, and therefore, those exemption notifications have been given, and the pain of some of those provisions has been diluted by that particular process. Now, I was initially able to shortlist 14 amendments and then two more have been added after the bill was passed in the Lok Sabha. Provisions have to be brought in line with the international standards. Now the question asked is, why are we in a hurry? As rightly mentioned by some honorable members, people are finding it extremely inconvenient after this legislation to comply with all the provisions, and therefore they are finding out devices of not forming a company and going in for other devices including a limited liability partnership. People are thinking whether it will be a better option to do business rather than a company registered under this act itself. For example, you look at subsection 6 of section 212. For some reason, we have to be careful of this whole process. After 4 years ago, even in the Customs Act, this provision was brought in. So, a provision for bail which was considered very onerous even for anti-terrorism law is brought in for violation of the Companies Act. So it was earlier brought in under the Customs Act. When I had pointed it out to the then Honorable Finance Minister, he withdrew it being an onerous provision. So, except in very serious cases of fraud, we cannot use this. So, I have amended that provision and the normal provisions under the CRPC will apply as far as bail is concerned. Now, the provisions are being amended were referred to by Shri Rahman Khan are relating to the mandatory capital limit. Similarly, the whole idea of a company seal has also now started becoming almost a relic as far as global laws are concerned. So, our law is being brought to this level. The third amendment relates to deposits. If there is a prohibition in accepting deposits and if company violates that and still accepts deposits, a provision was enacted but punishment for violation was forgotten to put in. So that gap has to be filled up by virtue of an amendment. The next provision is with regard to inspection of records of companies. Now AGM resolutions are meant for public display, but board resolutions are not. A board resolution of a company may actually contain confidential things. You have a private company or a public company, its entire corporate strategy may be contained in the board's resolution. The manner in which its financial strategy may be contained in that, its intellectual property strategy may be contained in it. It may contain saying that this is going to be the name of my product, this is going to be the patent that I am going to ask for, etc. So, those are not available for public display anywhere. So, this act obliterated the distinction between a board resolution and an AGM resolution. Hence, a correction had to be done. There was another lapse that has taken place. There was a provision for setting up of past losses and depreciation before declaring dividend. If you have accumulated losses, first you account for those accumulated losses and only then the shareholders get dividend. Now, this provision was put under the rules without putting it in the act. So, the gap, as far as drafting is concerned, has to be rectified. Similarly, there is a transferring equity shares for which unclaimed dividend has to be transferred to the investor education fund. Now, the rule is that for 7 years, if dividend is not claimed, then that is to be transferred. Now, there was a drafting error into this that even if it is not claimed for 1 year, there was a little ambiguous drafting which has to be corrected. Stop.